performance tonight?
Well, you know, he pitched behind in the count a lot tonight. You know, it's been 12 days actually since he started, but, you know, with that being said, you know, he did look a little rusty even though he pitched in the All-Star game and pitched the 2 innings in the All-Star game, but he hadn't started since the 4th. But, you know, he pitched behind in the count. His stuff got him out of some trouble in the 3rd. You know, I'm sure that he's not too happy with the performance that he had, even though he threw a no-hitter through 5 innings. But he just pitched behind in the count way too much tonight.
Would you say maybe compared to earlier in the season, do you see improvement in his change-up or at least consistency when he's
He threw some change-ups today, threw a few good ones, but he was, you know, he was inconsistent in the strike zone today. You know, I mean, his stuff, you know, that's the thing with Matt. His stuff is so good at times he can overpower hitters. You know, and I don't care what level it's at because his stuff is so good. So, you know, but he pitched behind in the count, and you're not going to get away with that too often.
For those of us who haven't seen him consistently here, was his control tonight not what it normally is?
Yeah, well, it wasn't near as good tonight. His control was not near as good tonight. He hasn't pitched behind in the count like that probably over the last 6 or 7 starts. But, you know, tonight, you know, I'm trying to give him a little extra credit because he hadn't pitched since I think it was the 4th in Syracuse when he started. So, and he knows there was a lot of hype today too.
How do you think he handled that?
I think he handled it okay. I mean, you know, I when he showed that he could pitch himself out of a 1st and 3rd no outs jam, I think that's where his stuff really showed that he could get away with it, you know. So, but I know that he's disappointed and he hasn't pitched behind in the count like that very often.
Was there any thought in the 7th of leaving him in there?
Yeah, there was some thought of it. You know, I mean, he had got to 100 pitches. The matchup was the left on left, and you know, Hampson had been pretty good at that, and just I didn't like the pitch that was thrown, but that was the pitch he chose.
Can we talk a little bit about his mental toughness, is a little bit of his resiliency in a game like today when he's not pitching well, he's pitching behind to get out of some of those jams?
Well, I mean, that's where I think the stuff takes effect. You know, I mean, his stuff is good enough to be able to do that. You know, there's a lot of guys that have stuff that's good enough to do that at all levels. You don't want to see him do that on a consistent basis. You know, I mean, you want to see him pitch ahead in the count as much as he can. But, you know, tonight he had to not only he had to use his stuff and show the power that he had tonight.
Do you think he's ready for the next level?
Well, you know, I mean, that's not my decision to make. You know, so you know, I've seen him get a lot better. He's done a great job here in Buffalo. You know, the higher executives are going to make those decisions.
Do you expect word from Sandy when you go in your office, or?
No, you know, I mean, I don't know what, you know, the JP was here today to watch, you know, and I'm sure that they were watching it in New York, so, you know, that's going to be a decision that's made in New York.
Really was the things more like the walks, the wild pitch and the hit batsman that
Yeah, you know,
hit
I
him a
mean,
lot.
he hasn't been that way. That's why I'm hoping that because he hadn't started in 12 days, you know, and pitched those 2 innings in the All-Star game was all he had, but you know, that's out of the norm for him of late.
Thanks.
Thanks, Wally.
Okay.